I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I'm born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. Yes, I really love my job. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Yes, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. Yeshua, 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 Yeshua. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted.
Firmly Rooted family, good morning and happy Monday morning. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Ministries. Kimberly and I drove our electric bikes to work today. Hey, brothers, have a good one. Just had some great discussions with some men who show up on Monday morning just to talk about life and do some praying. Bert Reggiani, good morning. Olivia, good morning. Nikki Chason, good morning. That is so funny. The two of you have the same symbol and a smiley face. Different smiley face, though. Okay. Vivian Davis, good morning. Look at all the sunshine and flowers. Greg Ray, good morning. As well as a bunch of others out there. We're in Mark chapter 6, and we're going into the feeding of the 5,000. And so I think the reading that you had last week, we basically were dealing with the fact that I'm just going to read it because it's short. The apostles gathered around Jesus and reported to him all they had done. Remember, they were sent out 2 by 2, and they came back and told Jesus that they were casting out demons, that people were getting baptized and repenting of their sins, that they healed the sick. And it says, because so many people were coming and going that they did not even have a chance to eat, the ministry was so on fire. There was like always something to do, and so it was like they couldn't even take care of their own needs. They didn't even have a chance to eat. Jesus said to them, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest. Let's go Sabbath. Let's go get rest. Jesus is reminding all of us that there is a need to rest, even if it's church work you're doing, even if it's godly work that you're doing. So they went by themselves in a boat to a solitary place, basically left that busy area and went to a solitary place, and they were going to spend some quiet time together. But many who saw them leaving recognized them and ran on foot. So while they're going across the sea, there's people running around the bank, and they're just running on foot, and they're running with animals, and they go from town to town, and they got ahead. They actually got ahead of the disciples. So when Jesus and the disciples landed, there was a crowd. What did he do? He kept working. He had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. So he began teaching them many things. Ministry is a funny thing. And I don't know that unless you're close enough to a pastor to know the life that they live, there's sometimes this knowing that you need some rest, but you just can't seem to get there because the next thing comes in and the next thing comes in. From my perspective, life is short, and if Jesus was going to spend another evening being compassionate and reaching out and making sure that people are cared for, then I can too. They're like sheep without a shepherd. You have compassion on them because you can just tell they need something, and you might have what they need. But it gets late in the day. So his disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place," they said, "and it's already very late. Send the people away so that they can go to the surrounding countryside and villages and buy something to eat." Seems to be a very reasonable suggestion. Maybe even something that they've done before. Hey, the crowd's really big. We've had a great day. Why don't we send them home or send them to villages nearby so they can get something to eat and we can hit it again tomorrow? Jesus says, you give them something to eat. You give them something to eat. Reason would tell me that, and it tells the disciples, it would take 8 months of a man's wages. Are we to go and spend that much on bread and give it to them to eat? Jesus, we're already tired. We're already weary. And now you're wanting us to feed them. We don't have the resources to feed them. We don't have what it takes to feed them. And I will tell you that this is the beginning of discipleship training. They're seeing from the kingdom of this world's perspective, and the kingdom of this world's perspective is always lack. There's not enough. There's only so much, and it's going to run out. The kingdom of this world deals with lack. The kingdom of God deals with abundance. There's always enough. More than enough. If God can take water out of a rock and feed a nation, if God can cause manna to fall on the ground to feed them, if God can cause quail to fall on the ground to feed them, he's trying to get his disciples to see from both kingdoms' perspective. And I think that's where we're going to leave it today. I've already faced challenges today, and you may face challenges today, where I think what you need to do, and I need to do, is slow things down and ask yourself the question, from what kingdom am I looking at this issue with? Because if the kingdom of this world is always in lack, and if the kingdom of God is always in abundance, then where am I in the midst of those two? if the one thing the disciples wanted to train the disciples to do, the one thing that Jesus wanted to train the disciples to do is to see, think, hear, and make decisions based upon God's kingdom's perspective, then we have to avoid defaulting to the easiest perspective, which is the one that we know, but the one that is limiting, the one from the kingdom of this world. We have to learn to fight our natural response and say, wait. Maybe, God, you could do something different. Maybe, God, from your kingdom's perspective. So when I pray with people about healing, like yesterday, someone came and they needed some healing, and I prayed for them. And I pray not from the kingdom of this world. I pray from a kingdom where Jesus says that we're going to do greater things than he has done, that we can cast out demons, that we can heal the sick, that at Jesus's words, people can be healed, that bones and muscles and tendons can be healed and adjusted. And before you know it, right while I am laying hands on this individual, their back starts to roll back into position. I can feel it in my hands. That doesn't happen in the kingdom of this world. You can't sprinkle a little Jesus into this kingdom. We die to this kingdom so that we can begin to live in the authority and power of a new kingdom. And here in the feeding of the 5,000 is one of the big lessons that he's trying to teach his disciples. They're seeing from the kingdom of this world. Jesus is seeing from the kingdom of heaven. And they both are trying to figure out, how do you feed the people? To the disciples, it's impossible. To Jesus, why is it impossible? Two kingdoms, two perspectives. And we're going to learn tomorrow that Jesus's was right. All right. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to do tomorrow's. Greg Ray, good morning. Steve Giroux, good morning. My sister, Trish Flannery, good morning. Dave Donnelly, my cousin, good morning. Nikki Chason. All right, good morning. I hope that this devotion was exciting. I hope that it kicks you off on a Monday morning. But look, let's every day this week slow things down. And when we're feeling a little bit anxious, uncertain, whatever it might be, stop and ask yourself the question, from which kingdom am I thinking right now? And prayerfully shift your thinking from the kingdom of God, and then see how you feel. Then see what God might have you do. All right, blessings on your day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.